There comes a moment in history when a nation's rise is no longer a matter of speculation. It becomes undeniable. That moment, right now, belongs to India. Once viewed as a developing nation finding its footing, India today stands as a force reshaping global power, global culture, and global perspective. The world, and particularly America, is paying close attention, not just to what India is doing, but to what it is becoming. The relationship between these two great democracies has entered a new chapter. It is no longer defined by aid, dependency, or distant diplomacy. It's defined by shared interests, mutual respect, and a recognition that the future cannot be written without India's hand on the pen. America, for decades, was the face of innovation, influence, and opportunity. But in the 21st century, it sees in India something deeply familiar, a nation driven by dreams, built by diversity, and powered by democracy. India's story is not a sudden one. It is a story of patience, perseverance, and quiet transformation. For years, the world underestimated India's potential, focusing on its challenges while overlooking its strength. But beneath the surface, a revolution was taking place in technology, education, defense, culture, and thought. Today, those seeds have grown into something the world can no longer ignore. India's economy has become a force that can no longer be dismissed as emerging. It has emerged. What once was a developing market is now one of the fastest growing major economies in the world, with its GDP growth surpassing expectations and becoming a vital pillar in global economic stability. But this rise isn't simply about numbers on a chart. It's about transformation at the very heart of a nation. Across cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Pune, innovation hubs hum with life. Startups are not just creating apps, they're redefining industries. From fintech to renewable energy, from biotechnology to digital infrastructure, India is no longer following trends. It is setting them. Its technology sector exports ideas, not just code. Its entrepreneurs are solving global challenges, not just local ones. The Indian rupee may not yet rival the dollar, but India's influence now rivals that of any major economy. Foreign investors once viewed India as a risky bet. Now they see it as a necessary partner. Multinational corporations are not coming to India for cheap labor. They're coming for talent, innovation, and vision. The Make in India movement has shifted global supply chains. The world saw fragility and dependence on one or two manufacturing giants. India offered reliability, scale, and democratic stability. That combination has made it an economic magnet. Beyond technology and trade, India's infrastructure is transforming highways, airports, digital networks, and smart cities. These are not mere symbols of progress. They are the foundations of a confident, self-reliant future. The economic story of India is not just one of profit, but of purpose, lifting millions out of poverty, empowering women entrepreneurs, and connecting rural communities to the digital world. America has begun to recognize that in India lies not only a market but a mirror, a reflection of its own entrepreneurial spirit, determination, and belief in democracy's power to create prosperity. In the modern global chessboard, every move counts, and India has positioned itself masterfully. Once considered a regional player, India has now become a central pillar in global strategy. Its geography, democracy, and diplomacy make it indispensable to any conversation about balance, peace, and progress in the Indo-Pacific region. India's growing partnership with the United States is not built on convenience, it's built on convergence. Both nations share the same concern for maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific, resisting authoritarian aggression, and preserving the global order rooted in law and freedom. India's defense modernization, its naval expansion, and its leadership in regional forums have given it strategic weight the world can't overlook. While other powers seek dominance through military projection, India leads through presence, trust, and principle. It stands as a bridge between East and West, between tradition and modernity, between development and democracy. Its diplomacy is subtle but steady, forming partnerships through shared interests rather than imposed alliances. America now sees India not as a follower but as a counterbalance, a partner capable of anchoring stability in a turbulent world. The QAD alliance, joint military exercises, technology collaborations, and intelligence partnerships all reveal this deepening trust. India has learned to play the long game, to be firm without being hostile, to be assertive without being aggressive. As the world grows uncertain, India's commitment to sovereignty, democracy, and open dialogue has made it an anchor in the storm. America understands that a strong India is not just good for Asia, it's good for the world. There is a new energy flowing through India, digital, youthful, unstoppable. Over the last decade, India has engineered one of the most remarkable digital transformations in human history. What began as a quest to connect villages through broadband has become a movement that connects 1 billion people to opportunity. India's digital identity system, Aadhaar, has become the backbone of a new social contract, one that ensures access, efficiency, and inclusion. Its UPI payment system has transformed how people transact, making digital payments more accessible than in most developed nations. The result: a nation that once relied heavily on cash now moves billions of dollars every day through the tap of a phone. The startup ecosystem has exploded, producing unicorns faster than many Western economies. Young Indians are building the future: AI-driven healthcare solutions, sustainable technologies, space startups, and global apps. This is not imitation, it's innovation, and it's powered by a generation that refuses to accept limits. For America, India's digital revolution represents both inspiration and partnership. U.S. tech giants have found in India not just a market, but an incubator of ideas. Silicon Valley and Bengaluru now speak the same language of innovation, collaboration, and vision. Technology has become the bridge between these nations, a bridge of progress, creativity, and shared destiny. More than half of India's population is under the age of 30. That's not just a statistic. That's the pulse of a nation. This generation has grown up in a digital world, unburdened by colonial memory, unafraid of global competition. They carry ambition not as arrogance, but as inheritance. They are coding, creating, and campaigning with a confidence that is reshaping the image of India from the ground up. They are not asking for permission. They are claiming their place in the world. Across villages and cities, from university classrooms to global companies, young Indians are proving that democracy, diversity, and development are not contradictions. They are catalysts. This youth power is changing politics, too. It is making governance more accountable, transparency more expected, and progress more participatory. They are the living embodiment of India's greatest promise, that democracy, when combined with youth and innovation, can achieve miracles. And America knows the value of such energy because it built its own success on the dreams of its young innovators. It sees in India a reflection of its own past and a partner for its future. India's voice in the world has become a voice of balance, not of dominance. Whether it's climate diplomacy, global health, or peacekeeping, India's approach is guided by responsibility and restraint. It speaks for the global South, not in opposition to the West, but as a bridge between worlds. In times of crisis, India has acted, sending vaccines, humanitarian aid, and digital technology to countries in need. It has become a moral compass in global forums, calling for reform of institutions that no longer reflect the realities of the modern world. As nations turn inward, India looks outward, not with arrogance, but with assurance. Its foreign policy is rooted in ancient wisdom, and modern pragmatism. It doesn't seek to dominate others, it seeks to elevate all. That philosophy has drawn admiration even from rivals and attention from allies. America recognizes this leadership born not from power, but from purpose. India's cultural soft power is one of the most profound and enduring forces shaping its global identity today. While armies and economies can build influence through might or money, true power, the kind that moves hearts, inspires minds, and transcends borders, comes from culture. From yoga to Bollywood, from literature to cuisine, from philosophy to festivals, India's spirit has traveled far beyond its borders. Bollywood films fill theaters across Africa and the Middle East. Yoga studios stretch across the streets of New York, and Los Angeles Diwali lights shine in homes from Toronto to Sydney. India's influence doesn't come with force, it comes with feeling. Through art, music, food, and faith, India reminds the world of something it too often forgets, that the highest form of power is the ability to inspire without intimidating. America sees this, feels it, and respects it, because in India's culture lies not just beauty, but humanity itself. And so, as we look toward the horizon of a rapidly changing world, a world defined by technology, uncertainty, and shifting power, we see one truth standing tall. India has arrived not as a shadow of another nation, but as a light in its own right, a light that does not blind but illuminates, a light that guides, not governs. The story of India is no longer one of waiting for recognition. It is a story of realization, of a people who believed that strength could come from diversity, progress could come from peace, and greatness could come from grace. America, and indeed the entire world, now looks toward India not out of curiosity, but out of respect, because India is proving something profound, that power need not divide, that leadership need not dominate, and that influence need not shout to be heard. India's journey is not just about what it is becoming, but what it is reminding the world to be: united in diversity, strong in spirit, and humble in power. And perhaps that is why today, or more than ever, the world is not merely watching India. It is listening, it is learning, it is inspired, because when India rises, it does not rise alone, it lifts the world with it.